Well, there you are. Again, Charlie Greer Podcast. I do this every day. Today, so the creative dark ages. Yeah, I'm going wild man style today. I know I need a haircut. But first, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, the information is in the description for my Cash App, which is my handle is Charlie Greer Podcast, and for Zelle. Also, I put a link to my Facebook so you guys can check out my art and all my pictures, whatever. Because I'm going to be talking about my abstract nudes. I'd like to show one, but man, I probably get taken down. I do abstract nudes. It offends people. I've been doing it for like 20 years. And in the art world, I haven't painted in a while. That's what I was known for, my abstract nudes. I just did 2 series. I did my abstract nudes, my abstract colors, done with. I wasn't doing this and that, the other thing, trying to, no. Let's do this. So, the creative dark ages, we are living through them. We are in the midst of the creative dark ages. And that's one of the reasons why I'm my podcast. I don't think I want to do this anymore. I don't want to be associated with YouTube. My format, if I do, I'm going to change it. Maybe focus on my paintings. I'm tired of ranting. It's not fun anymore. It was like therapeutic for a while. And quite honestly, I'm just not that popular. I'm coming up on 300 fucking episodes, and I haven't got like 130. That's telling me something. You know what I mean? The world tells you things like the universe. Well, it's telling me that I suck at this. Move on. So I'm gonna. I almost didn't do it today. I'm also going through a lot of pain. I got a head and neck injury and back injury, whatever I've been doing with that. But the creative dark ages, like again, I don't see any creativity on YouTube. I don't see people that are not that I'm jealous or anything, but there's people that are popular on YouTube that I can't even watch. Nobody has any personality or flow. Their mouth breathing, awkward pauses, and quite honestly, I'm an artist. I'm not some kind of yapping. Well, lately I've been, but I'm not a cackling fool. And since I've started my podcast, I've also did like a personal inventory. Like since I've done this podcast, man, all this stuff has been going on. It's like, what's different in my life? The podcast. See, there's things that you got to read into life. And it's this podcast I've been doing. I should have kept my fucking mouth shut, not said anything. There's certain people that should just keep their mouth shut. Even though I censored myself, I couldn't say what I wanted to. This isn't meant for me. I'm going back to painting. That's what I've been doing. I've been soul searching. Like, what makes me happy? I've been doing this podcast every day. It's just like, maybe I was doing it for the wrong reasons. At first, it was therapeutic and like therapy. And the second reason was like social, just to meet other people. I've met a few, but after a year, it's coming on a year. You meet a few. Say if it was my band. And I'd done almost 300 gigs, and I only had a few fans. Well, you move on. Same thing with my painting. You done 300 shows, you never sold a painting. What does that tell you? As an actor, if you've done 300 auditions and never got a gig, what does that say? So that's what I'm dealing with right now. And we're living in this creative dark ages where people aren't going to see it. Granted, I'm not the best, but I'm unique, and people aren't going to pick up on it. It has nothing to do with creativity. Especially YouTube. These people have no flavor, no mojo, no nothing. It's just fucking stupid. And I don't want to be associated with that. That's been bugging me for a long time. It's the association of being on YouTube. I'm done. And I gave it a shot. I almost didn't do it today. And I might go to 300. I think I'm only 8 or 9 or 10 away from 300. I probably get to 300 and then just lay it to rest. The thrill is gone. And I need to start painting. I need to get back to do what I do. Because when I'm painting, I can control my environment. I attract more things that are good. With YouTube, I haven't attracted that much. I've dealt with a smidgen of cool people. Everything else has been horrible. My computer's been hacked twice. Dealing with some of the, you know what I mean? Like, no, it's uh it just sucks. It's not fun. And it's messing with my cool. It's with my cool, calm, and collective kind of thing. Um, I no. And maybe because of course I'm burnt out. I've been doing it like, but I just don't like it anymore. Uh, I don't like what I've attracted. I don't like, well, mostly like links to porn and this, that, and the other, and people. This is just enough. The negativity has outweighed the positivity, and so yeah, I'll probably do another 10 of these. Hang it up. Move on with my painting. And my paintings, well, I can sell my paintings. I remember the first time I sold a painting for $5,000. It was like 2005, maybe. Like $5,000 paint. What? Huh? And my paintings can go places that where my YouTube channel can't. I mean, I've hung at like Bonham and Butterfields and uh, big galleries, respected, this, that, and the other thing. And granted, the art world is tough. Like right now, I don't have anybody repping me. I don't know any art gallery owners. A lot of times in my art gallery, because I was like a lowbrow artist, I would click up with a gallery and they would rep me. They'd take a percentage, and they would do the hustle, make the postcards or the flyer, whatever they did, and talk me up. Again, it goes back to, I'm just not good at doing a YouTube channel. I admit it. From day one, I've said I have the worst podcast in the history of podcasts. It ain't like, I've tried. It's just getting older and I feel silly. That's another thing, sitting in front of a fucking computer. I love to rant, don't get me wrong. But it's just not for me. It affects my, again, cool, calm, and collectiveness. Like I'm not that needy of a person. It's not like, I say I need, I do that a lot. But with my paintings, it's just like, go fuck yourself. You don't have to be around. My painting can hang without me around. That's another thing. I like to just, and I found this out from a gallery owner, a big infusion gallery in LA. He picked up on, he was like, because there's always a party. There's, usually you'll hang for like a month, but they'll have like an opening, a big opening. And it's a party. I mean, it's just some of the best times I've ever had it. Like art, openings and people and this, that, and the other. I'd go and I'd kind of be like the belle of the ball. Like, hey, I'd bring friends when I'd show up. It'd be like a thing. And I would sell, but a lot of times I wouldn't show up, and it was out of like, just sometimes I'd have multiple art shows in one, and I wouldn't even go. Like, fuck, if I can't go, I'm not going to be driving around LA. You trying to no, so I wouldn't go, and then that became a thing. I was like, well, should I even go? And then the guy that was repping me, or handling me, I should say, he owned Infusion Gallery. He's like, hey, you know that you sell more when you're not here. I was like, that's right. Like, if I don't show up, there's like this mystique or something, and I always sell out. If I show up, yeah, I'll sell a painting or two, but I don't have a great time. But then there I am. It's like it's weird. And I think that has to do with my YouTube channel. It's like, here I am right here. Well, that's just, I'm overbearing. I'm not for everybody. I'm like the vinegar of YouTube. Every once in a while you're going to need some vinegar, but you don't want to chug it every day. I'm realistic about this. It's nobody's fault but mine. It's not like I give it a shot. How hard it's been to go like every day. Like today. Matter of fact, I'm supposed to be on the road. I'm supposed to be going to St. Louis, and I can't because I'm just in this pain. Can barely move my neck. Can only sit up for a couple hours at a time. Don't have to lay down, and I can't sleep and lay there, and maybe it'll get better. So I've been going through a lot. I try not to bellyache about it, but yeah, definitely more painting in my. If I do YouTube, it's going to focus on my paintings, because there are YouTube videos of me painting and they got way more views than me just sitting here ranting. Uh, so I may do like an art channel. I may just like turn it into a. But again, we're living in the creative dark ages. It is dead, which would probably be harder for me with my paintings. But there's still, see, the arts in the gallery world. So there's still people, even if they're not, they recognize a good painting, or they recognize uniqueness and stuff. Because I'm not the best painter either. It's just that I do like with my abstract nudes. And the funny story about my nudes, when I started, and I focus on one thing or two things, my nudes and my abstract colors. Because when I first started painting and trying to get into shows, I would try to do a different subject and that's the thing about this YouTube. I'm all over the place with my YouTube channel, but I would do like this and that and the other, and I would sell, but then I was doing my nudes in these abstracts, and they became the most popular thing. I just focused on that. And how I got to do my nudes, my mother was a painter. She studied art, and right around maybe 20 years ago or more, I was talking to her about my paintings. I need to be selling more paintings. I want to live as an artist. I want to live better as an artist. I want to make an income. She's like, we got to do nudes. Nudes? Yeah, man, nudes always sell. This is my mother doing it. So I do abstract art. I used to be really like, I used to do like pointillisms, and it would take forever. It'd take me weeks to do a piece. Then abstract, I've always liked abstract. It's like instant gratification. I can get it, I love color. I love bold outlines. There's a lot of things that, I love Van Gogh, Picasso, O'Keeffe, so I took her advice. That's when I started doing my nudes. She's a certified, I mean, she's retired now, but she's a certified appraiser of rare antiques and art and this, that, and the other thing. And when I lived in St. Louis, well, I was always around artists. My grandfather had a big antique dealership. And I was lucky enough to be exposed to the arts. I studied art in college, art history, this, that, and the other. You think like art, oh yeah, art history. I that's one of the hardest classes I ever took. One of the tests we had to do, you have to study these paintings, and they gave us like 40 paintings, and you had to name the artist. Well, that's one of the hardest things I've ever had. Even though I like some of these, it's just like, damn. So if you didn't study those books, of course, I was obsessed with looking at the book, reading, but I passed. But it was tough. It took hours. They gave us like 2 or 3 hours to sit, and people like just gave up. But that's where I lie. That's where I lay my head, is in that world as an artist. Since I was a little kid, just drawing, I want to do this. So under that umbrella of being an artist, I've done a few things. I've dipped my beak here and there, music, acting, writing, whatever. But because see, a lot of people, I've been in certain circles or scenes. So some people just know me as a musician. Some people know me as a writer. Some people know me as a painter. But in my paintings have always got the most respect. I've always been able to go places with my paintings that I would not be able to go anywhere else. I could dress all like haggard or whatever, and it was expected, kind of, And a lot of times when a person will buy your painting, they'll want to meet you. I wouldn't show up to these paintings. They're like, hey, they want to meet you. They want to take you to lunch. And we're talking rich people, basically. Yes, okay. Then you meet him at some kind of nice restaurant, and you sign. Everybody, who's he? Well, hey, I've never been. I got further. I mean, I've hung at Bottom and Butterfields. You basically, they only hang like dead artists, and I sold out that night. It was a group show. I actually helped coordinate it, and I got some of my friends who they didn't sell. I just took them along. You know what I mean? I curated part of the show. And then I was gonna get another show, but then it didn't turn out. And I used to curate shows for people and organizations. They'd hire me to put on if they want a fundraiser, whatever the hell they were doing, or had a gallery or a restaurant or whatever it was. That's what I'm best at is, and I'm also, I'll give people chances. Like, say if I'm curating a show and I need like 40 artists, they can put in like one or two pieces, depending on how big it is. I had the mindset because I don't live in the creative dark ages. I'm granted I'm here, but I'm not in it. I'm of it. I just happen to be in this time room. I'd give people chances. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I don't like his or her or whatever, but let's, yeah, give them, throw them a bone. And they might do what? Hey, of course, I took 20% of what's up. But that's where I have to be. I have to get off YouTube and start doing my art because we're, again, cackling about whatever people are cackling about isn't doing anything as far as the arts. You think that you're sitting there with your computers and your and you're spawning screens and playing clips of that isn't creative. You're a newscaster. Me too. I'm not excluding myself. And it's just like, dude, it gets like lately. I've just been kind of embarrassed. Like, for one, I don't talk about my podcast that much. I got a podcast. Well, everybody has a podcast. Not everybody does abstract nudes, so I have to get back to doing that. It was like a moment of clarity, and actually, it came through pain. Me being in this pain these last couple of weeks, I re-injured my neck and back. Like, oh God, help! I can't. Hardly can't get out. I mean, I can walk my dog, but the last maybe 10 days, 7 days, I've just been able to sit up for an hour, 2, 3 at the most. Then I have to lay down and just kind of, if I'm lucky, I'll get some rest. I'll nap a bit. But yesterday I tried that. I woke up even in more pain. Like, dear God. And again, I'm supposed to be doing things. I had plans for today. I'm supposed to be traveling, and I just can't do it. And from that came the epiphany, if you will, of you got to be doing your nudes. You got to start painting again. That's what you do. That's who you are. You've said enough. I mean, through the whatever it is, 290 something episodes I've done. Well, I've said all I can say. I've got to change this format. And I've known for a couple months I've plateaued at the bottom. Okay. So I was like, I got to change this up. I got to do something. And, I thought like, well, maybe I'll go out and interview people or go to graveyards. And here I am, or a haunted hotel. Or no, there's too many cooks in that kitchen. There's people that do that. But people aren't doing Charlie Greer's abstract nudes. That's just, again, that's where I'm unique. It's where I'm me. I'm not trying to say I'm better or anything. It's just, that's what I have to do. This is not, I don't even know. What I was thinking about today is I'm going to go through and pick my favorite episodes. I don't even know how many I'm going to keep and then delete the rest of them. The ones that I don't like, they're going to be gone. Because doing it every day, you're off. I mean, I'm off a lot. Or I'm sick, I'm hungover. There's episodes where you can just tell where I'm, or I don't want to do it. There's many days where he's like, do I have to do that? Yes, I said I would. But there's a change going to come. And it's up to me. I have to do it. If I don't like something, then it's gone. And my art, see, I haven't painted in a year. Because I was focusing on this podcast. Then I was wondering about other things in my life changed. Like, what is it that I couldn't put my finger on? It's like, wait a minute. The only thing that's different in my life is this fucking podcast I'm doing. If I wasn't doing this podcast and I'd need another outlet, I'd go back to painting. And it proved to me that I'm not good at this. I don't have any following or any of that kind of thing. And I don't like doing it anymore. It's just that simple. Enough, kind of thing. Perhaps I should move on. Yes. Perhaps you should. I miss doing art shows. And of course, I'll have to put my feelers out and start probably back at the, I haven't done an art show in forever. But before I left LA, well, I left God knows how many paintings, big paintings. You can go to, I get in the description today, I put a link to my Facebook. You can go check out my paintings. You can see my abstract nudes. I would show one on here, but it'd probably be taken down. See, I've been my nudes have been doxxed and censored, and matter of fact, not YouTube, Facebook has taken down a lot of my nudes, and that happened even back around like 2000, between like 2006 and 8. The certain community came after me for doing nudes, like you're not, because the nude series I have is called Lady on Chaise Lounge, and there's abstract nudes, and it's basically like mother media, because I use like a TV head for the, but it's a nude, and they thought I was like, disrespectful to women, and this, and it's like, no, it has nothing to do with that. I was raised by a single mother. My mom was an artist. She's the one that told me to do nudes, but no, I'm the bad guy, so I had to go through that. That's why I kind of stopped doing nudes, because I got Me Too'd like years ago, because I was hot with my nudes, and then it's like, okay, you get on the radar, and then people come after you. One artist, she actually ripped me off. I mean, at least she was honest, and she started doing the same thing, but it was men. Quite honestly, she did better than me, but at least she was cool about it. She's like, hey, I'm gonna do this. Okay, fine. And I don't mind that. If people are honest about it, be like, hey, you know what? You inspired me to do that. Do it. Shit, you probably do better than me, which she did. Of course, I don't know if she's still painting again. I don't know. I didn't keep up with the, because I knew so many artists. There's hundreds of, even in LA, it's like, shit, I couldn't. Like, say if I curated a show and there's like 40 fucking artists in this show, well, hell, just phone calls alone one day. Let's see. I don't like that. I need somebody to, that's why I quit curating shows. Because this is, I don't want to be on the phone. For one, I would sometimes have to hang the art, or if it was a big show, it was a big gallery, they had people that hung. Just look at, I've been turned away. Like, I was the featured artist, but I showed up with this huge nude, and they're like, Charlie, man, we don't have the space. Like, you can't hang this. It's like, well, this is all I got. Like, you got anything else? I was like, I'm not running home I drove down here. No. I walked out. They were like, oh, no. And I was pissed. So there I am, featured, the posters, all these flyers that went out, or handbills, whatever the hell they are. I'm not even in the show, which actually kind of turned out pretty good, because it's like, why is he not in the show? It became like the conversation piece. And when they had explained, well, he showed up with it, and it was huge. It was huge. I barely got it there. I had to borrow someone's Jeep to put it, and I should have told them, but oh well. I thought, well, since I'm featured, I can hang it, whatever, big paintings sell better. You can ask more. But that's where I need to be, is painting, and not cackling like a madman on YouTube. For one, it didn't turn out the way I thought it would. I thought I would actually, any other time I've done anything, I've attracted others, and we do, I haven't attracted that many people. So that tells me, it's like, wait a minute. I already knew I wasn't good, but man, you're worse than you thought. You're I'm not gonna laugh about it, because I gave it a try. I've rented up the flagpoles. You salute. Well, nobody saluted, so it's just like, well, I'm not. So I think there's about another 10 of me in me to do. Then I'm gonna change my format. Tired of ranting. No one wants to hear what I gotta say. I'm smoking. I'm cursing. Nobody likes that. They want to see somebody walk around Disneyland or somewhere. Like, hey, here I am. I'm not a true crime podcast, so I'm not, there's certain things that are popular on YouTube, and I mean, I'll visit those kind of subjects, but I got to do me. I can't. That's why the algorithm doesn't like what I do, because I'm different every episode, basically. Which goes back to my paintings. When I was different on all my painting, well, then you're just lost. You do nudes, bam, bam, the same. Basically, it's the same series. Well, you get known. Like, oh, that's that guy. And then my color abstract, like, oh yeah, you get a like a fingerprint. You get like a people know. So I have to focus on that. That way I can do more shows. I can, show my pain if they'll let me, because they are nudes, but they're cartoonish looking. They're not even, the first, I've been censored off multiple websites because of my nudes, and this goes back almost 2 decades, where I just wasn't, people were, I had charliegreer.net, so nobody could censor me. It's my own site. I had multiple galleries that were, then I finally went with the, one person, and then that, whatever. And I'd go, I'd stick with, I'm loyal. I'd stick with someone who understood me, realized what I was doing, knew something about painting and art. So that's what I got to do. The thrill is gone, and it's not, honestly, I feel great about it. It's not like I'm down or, of course I'm in pain, but, because of this injury I've got, but, man, it's like a relief to me. It's like to have that moment of clarity. Like, you know what? You try, you suck, get over it. Go back to what you're doing. Cause this is what painting is always, I've always drawn or painted or this, that, and the other, designed my own flyers for my gigs, and always had roommates that were artists. That's another thing. Like, I have to, birds of feathers stick together, especially in the creative world. I'm not surrounded by, I got to get back to that. For decades, all I was around was, and then I literally, part of me, like, try to be open and try to, be around others, people that aren't artists. And it's just like, oh my God, this is enough. Forever, all I had, my roommates were other artists. That's it. That's all I was around. All my friends, girlfriends, this, that, and the other was just, and sometimes they'd be comedians. That's kind of an art form. But I was trying to be a normie. Like, I just try, like, well, be normal. That's mistake. So yeah, change is coming probably in about a week or two. If my computer, matter of fact, I couldn't earlier, because I'm having problems with this laptop, and I know it's Microsoft Edge, and people have told me, like, man, Microsoft Edge sucks. Yes, it does. And when I got on to start this episode, it wasn't responding. I got locked up, and it wouldn't even let me turn my computer off. Finally, again, I had to restart it, and this, that, and the other. And that's another thing, man. I can't stand that. I can't stand like a piece of electronics like dictating what I can do. Are you shitting me? Is that the world we're in? Yes, perhaps it is. It is what we're, can't do it. That's all I've been dealing with, and it's been messing with everything. I thought, like, I'd have like more of a social thing going on, financial, this, that, and the other. All that, which usually comes from, dedicating yourself, doing something every day. This, that, and no, it's like I've been punished. And I've been racked my brain, like, what's going on? This year has been brutal. Since I started my podcast, man, been brutal. Just like every step's a trip, and it's just like, it's his podcast. Certain people shouldn't be talking. Should keep their mouth shut. Again, it's a good thing. Thank you that I realized this. I don't want to put myself through this anymore. And I'm lucky enough that I can realize and be honest about it. Like, not be like, well, no, it was there. No, it's me. I got to go back to painting. That's just how it is. Again, if you want to support the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. If you physically want to support the channel, the information's in the description for Cash App. My handle is charliegreerpodcast, and for Zelle, that's my email. And there's a link to my Facebook. You can go to my Facebook and check out my paintings, check out my nudes. There's other pictures there. There's band pictures. There's all kinds of stuff. But I love y'all. Be blessed. Cheers.